Hello everybody, hello, no aloha here, back in the Deja Vu zone. We are going to run through Chapter 3, the Devourer below again, because I messed up the first time. There's a video on the site explaining why. If you're watching via the playlist and that doesn't make any sense to you, there'll be some bonus videos that you might want to look at. But I know there's at least a few of you out there who have watched the previous attempt at this, where I messed up one of my acts up here. We made a little Doom error. We're going to try again. We're going to do this properly. And how shall I do it? I guess we follow the same pattern as during the first playthrough of Chapter 3. And we will spend this first video setting up the board. We have to pick our agents of cards for the encounter deck. We have to randomly pick 4 of our Arkham Woods cards. I will re-go over the cards that we upgraded to between the end of Scenario 2 and this chapter. And yeah, pretty much that. So same thing applies as before. If you're not interested in the discussion around setup, you're not interested in the discussion around the cards that we upgraded to, just skip over to video part 10. Otherwise, join me for just a little tour of the board and we'll get things set up. So how do we set up Scenario 3? 2 things that we need to do. It's the usual, throw your agendas down and your acts down, take the encounter cards for your encounter deck, etc. However, there is a little bit of further complication, just adding some extra randomness to it. Here we have some encounter sets that are specific, or no, I guess they won't necessarily be specific for Scenario 3. There's a chance that these will come into play in further expansions for the game. We have Agents of Shub-Niggurath here, we have Agents of Yog-Sothoth, we have Agents of Cthulhu, and we have Agents of Hasta. We are going... Oh, I did not mean to do that. They were not supposed to jump together. They're the Hasta cards, these are the Cthulhu cards. Flip, 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 flip. I'm going to put all 4 of these into this little bag. The way Tabletop Simulator works is it will automatically keep those in groups. So when we hover over this bag now, there should be 4 items in here. There we go. And then you can just shake it like it's the chaos bag. You can't do this obviously with your physical cards at the kitchen table. When I'm doing this at the kitchen table, I turn them upside down in groups like that, and I will just try to distract myself for a full 30 seconds and move them around whilst talking to somebody or thinking about a song's lyrics or something. Just something to take my mind off tracking where these cards are, and then once I feel like they are unknown to me, then I just pick one at random. With this we can just shuffle, and then we're going to draw 1, and that is our agents. We don't know who it is. Put it in the encounter deck, and that is ready. This can be removed from the game, we don't need them anymore. Let's pick our Arkham Woods cards. There are 6 here, all different. And we are not going to have this one, and we're not going to have this one. And we remove that from the game also. And then we'll just place these. We'll use the same layout as I used previously. That seemed to work okay. I want to give them enough space so that when we have cards adjacent to them, I don't want cards adjacent to this and cards adjacent to that, kind of creeping into each other's territory so that it's not clear whose location they are on. So, there is our setup. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all we need to do. So let's take a look at our decks. Oh, no, before we do that, let me show these 2 things, because that's important. Then we can move on to the cards that we've added. We have 17 tokens in here. Scenario 1 and Scenario 2, you have 16 tokens. These ones here. Oh, I should add it again. I'm going to put another little symbol in here for the new token that we have added. This is done via the direction of... Where are you? This little fellow. This is done via the direction of the campaign book. For Scenario 3, you add the Elder Thing token. I believe that's supposed to be an Elder Thing. I have taken to calling it a mouldy onion or a mouldy potato, because it looks like when I forget to take the potatoes out of the cupboard, and sometimes they grow roots. But yes, so be aware that we have this in here. What would this mean in Scenario 3? Let's take a look at our scenario reference card for our chosen difficulty, which is still on standard. For the Devourer below on standard difficulty, when we pull the skull token, it is going to be -X, where X is the number of monster traded enemies in play. Cultist token would be a -2, and we will also place 1 doom on the nearest enemy. So if we are lucky and we don't have any enemies on the board, it will have no impact. But assuming there is at least 1 enemy, the nearest one is going to take a doom token. The Broken Seal token is a -3, and if there is a monster traded enemy at our location, when we draw this from the bag, we are going to take 1 damage. And then the new token, the Elder Thing, -5, ouch. If there is an Ancient One enemy in play, reveal another token. Spoilers, if there is an Ancient One enemy in play, we're done for. It doesn't really matter, but sure, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so that's the new Chaos Bag, the new and improved Chaos Bag. We have everything ready. Our decks are shuffled. We're ready to move our investigators over. But let's take a look at the upgrades that we did. If you recall from scenario 2, we ended up with 6 investigators who we interrogated, and no cultists got away. So yay for us, and that left us with 9 victory points each. What did I buy? So the ones that we already upgraded to, I've still kept the token on, but I've moved it just to the top corner and small. So you can see for Wendy, for example, we have taken Cat Burglar, which is an amazing card for this scenario. Just 1 experience point, and it's a really nice ally which boosts Wendy's agility and gives her a reusable ability where she can exhaust this card, so she can use it once per turn essentially, and it allows her to just disengage from all enemies in her threat area and move to any connecting location. It doesn't have to be revealed, unlike a card like Elusive where it has to be a revealed location. The benefit of Elusive is it doesn't have to be connecting, it can just be any unrevealed location without enemies. Cat Burglar, it does have to be connecting. We also took Close Call for 2 experience points. It is an event. It is fast, so it's not going to cost an action to play, and it basically functions as a way to put an enemy back into the encounter deck. You have to evade it out first, but that shouldn't be a problem for Wendy, and you can just get rid of it. Really, really nice card that could come into play because there are some very nasty monsters actually in this deck, in the encounter deck. We don't know which specific nasty monsters, but each of those agent sets has at least 1 nasty monster in there. It doesn't. You may well see it again because you're not removing it from the game or anything, you're just putting it back into the encounter deck. Wendy also went into Bulletproof Vest, just for a big old bump to her health, and similarly Elder Sign Amulet for a big old bump to her sanity. Nice icons on both. They both also have a wild icon, so that can be nice. That is all I did with Wendy. So that was 3 experience points, 6 experience points, 7, 8 experience points, 9 experience points. Roland did not take the Bulletproof Vest, my reason being that he has 9 health anyway, which is a lot, and generally you're going to be struggling with his low sanity. So just to better balance those numbers out, I have thrown Elder Sign Amulet in. I would probably have put 2 in if we weren't playing with a single core set. However, we are, so we only get access to 1 of these cards. Fairly obvious why we've included this in a Roland deck. He also took Police Badge, which is an accessory, so it does clash, it does compete with the accessory slot for Elder Sign Amulet. Police Badge is amazing in that it gives you +1 willpower, which is incredible for scenario 3 especially. It also has a really nice one-use effect that causes you to discard it, which is to give an investigator at your location, so it can be yourself, 2 additional actions, which can be a real game changer if you are able to time it right or find the right opportunity. 2 extra actions can mean the difference between taking damage, for example, in the enemy phase. Yeah, just really, really nice. Maybe we'll draw into the opportunity to do that. We've taken an upgrade to our magnifying glass. It's very similar to the default magnifying glass. This just means that if we have it out and we don't need it anymore because the clues are gone, we can return it to our hand rather than discard it when we play, say, the machete. If we don't have enough hand slots, we can just remove this from our in-play area. It's a moderate upgrade. You could also, for example, equip it and then return it just so that later on you can use the intellect icon to commit to another person's test. There's a few situations where it could come into use. Encyclopedia is a book. As I mentioned early on in the playthrough, I haven't been focusing on books at all for Roland. However, there is a situation at the end of this scenario specifically where I think this could come in very handy. It uses a hand, so it's not handy in that sense. It will gobble up a hand slot. So we'll have to see what the situation is. If Roland is rocking his shotgun and he has bullets to spare, then maybe we won't put Encyclopedia in. But if we draw into Encyclopedia, I will be quite happy to hold on to it until the end of the scenario, where some very important skill checks that you don't want to fail come into play. Those are the cards that Roland drew into. Let's just quickly nip over to here so we can see what we have removed. We'll do Wendy first. We essentially, what I did, because the body armor, clashes with the body slot for leather coat, I took leather coat out and put the body armor in. I have removed Rabbit's Foot for the Elder Sign Amulet, because they are both accessories, and I don't think Wendy needs any more accessory type assets in her deck. She already has Wendy's Amulet. She now has the Elder Sign Amulet also. Having Rabbit's Foot in there, it's too many accessory slots in my opinion. So we basically replaced those because they were the same asset type. And the same thing with Stray Cat. We've put in Cat Burglar, which is an ally. We have Cat Burglar and Leo DeLuca in Wendy's deck now. I've taken out Stray Cat because I don't want 3 allies in her deck. We took out Derringer and... yeah, we'd already removed Switchblade. We took out Derringer for the other card, the event, which I added. Close call. So that was the change to Wendy's deck. And then for Roland, I did remove 1 flashlight from Roland's deck. I might regret that. I also removed the Hyper Awareness talent card and Barricade to make room for his new cards, and we upgraded Magnifying Glass. That's pretty much all the changes that we need to be aware of moving into the 3rd chapter. I don't believe there is anything else we need to discuss in this video. I think we're good. Yeah, should we just jump straight over to it? Note, Roland has started the game with 1 horror due to the mental trauma that he took here. Mental trauma that he took at the end of scenario 2 because we had cover-up in play and we never dealt with it. Yeah. That's pretty much everything we need to do. Everything else is... Roland has 1 XP left over. Don't know what we'll do with that. Okay, with all that said, thank you for watching. Just a quick video there just to set us up so that we can jump straight into the next video with some flavour text. We'll read our agenda and our act and we'll get started on... Oh, wait, I should draw cards now, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'll draw the cards now. We'll talk about that. And then, yeah, that will save time. We can jump straight into the gameplay. I knew I was forgetting something. There was something... You haven't finished what you were supposed to do, no Aloha. Voice in the back of my mind. So yeah, let's draw our cards. I am thinking, for Roland, I think I'm going to mulligan extremely heavily for combat. Serving cards. That's... I think Roland needs... He has to be able... to fight enemies, otherwise he is going to struggle to prove his worth. So that's what I'm going to I would actually like to see 2 weapons in his hand here. First aid. We might keep first aid. It came in very useful in our failed playthrough. And I don't know if I class knife as a weapon. Oh, that's so useful though. Gosh. Nope. I'm going to get rid of them all. All of them. We're not keeping any of them. There are some really nice cards there that I probably should keep. Evidence is a great way to grab an extra clue. I should keep evidence, shouldn't I? If I am planning on having... Yeah, I should keep evidence. We'll keep evidence. If I'm planning on doing combat, then yes, evidence absolutely makes sense. Oh, but I really want 2 weapons. I really do want 2 weapons. No, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. I said I was going to mulligan heavily for just weapons. I guess I didn't mean that. I didn't actually expect to draw into these two cards that are excellent at grabbing 2 clues instead of 1, which, with how important time is in this scenario, these are actually very important. Okay, let's hope that we have at least 1 weapon. No, although physical training came in extremely, it can be super useful. Flashlight. Right, we have problems. Roland is going to be a investigation machine right now. He's very, very well equipped for investigating for clues. That's fine, but he's not equipped to fight. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. Roland is going to be a problem for his first few turns if he doesn't draw into any of his weapons. Not what I wanted in my opening hand, and that's probably my fault because I decided to neglect the importance of any weapon, let alone 2 weapons. Let's just hope that the encounter deck doesn't throw a bazillion enemies our way. Wendy. I don't know what I want for Wendy. Leo out early would be excellent also. But yeah, things like look what I found to grab extra clues. Pickpocketing, that's actually really nice to keep out. We can get pickpocketing out nice and early, and it should help Wendy just keep her hand nice and full. She could perhaps, oh hello Leo, she could perhaps, while Roland is fumbling around in his knapsack for a weapon, she can maybe crowd control, just evading out any monsters that we might see. We won't keep Cunning Distraction. Should we keep Hard Knocks? No, we won't keep Hard Knocks. We won't keep Manual Dexterity. We are going to keep Leo, and we are going to keep Pickpocketing. Look what I found. Beautiful. Backstab. Yeah, sure. That's nice to have in a pinch compared to considering the kind of cards that we can see if we get some nasty ones. And Opportunist, which, sure. No big deal. What I would like to see a bit more of are cards that allow us to excel at willpower tests. We haven't really drawn into many of those. But yeah, Wendy's going to get Leo out again, which is going to make a big difference, I think. Interesting. This lack of weapons over here is definitely a worry. I had first aid kit in my hand. I maybe should have kept that so that I could immediately deal with this. I chose not to. We're going to see how much I regret these decisions. Join me in the next video when we see how much I regret these decisions. I will see you over there. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.